I'm going to do a taste test, then you can't watch.
Oh, okay.
Alright. You should do our intro.
If you couldn't tell already, Emma and I are recording in the same room for the first time.
Yeah!
Very nice. I'm here in Chicago visiting my sister. So I stopped by Emma. We figured we'd do an episode about deep dish pizza.
I'm also in Chicago visiting myself.
We're going to start off the podcast by doing a taste test. It was Emma's idea. She has purchased 2 different deep dish pizzas, one from Lou Malnati's and one from Giordano's. I'm a huge fan of Lou Malnati's, and I guarantee that I will be able to tell the difference. I'm not sure how to talk to you because I have to look away. As I'm just staring out the window.
Alright. Can you do it blindfolded? Because I'm afraid you'll know it too well.
Oh,
not blindfolded, or just like
sure.
blind.
Okay. I'm not sure if I can operate a fork blind.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
Just hand me the fork.
Alright. I'm moving your notes, but you can get them back. Okay.
Okay.
Here's the fork.
Okay. And I'm just gonna stab wildly, hoping it hits pizza.
Okay. No. Cold, 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 cold. Stab. Alright, that's gonna be number 1.
Okay.
Alright. You can
Is
pick
it
it
on
up.
Well, I want to make sure it's not gonna fall off the fork.
That's number 2.
The first one was Lou Malnati's, the second was Giordano's.
Ah, damn. Pretty impressive. They were generous with their slices. Look at this.
Oh yeah, no, it's a big pizza.
Yeah. Is that why you like Lou Malnati's better?
No, I just like the taste better. Not that I don't like Giordano's, I think it's fine. I just like Lou Malnati's better.
So do you like that the crust is dry?
On Lou Malnati's?
Yeah.
Yes. I really like that the crust is thinner. The bread is there, but it's not on display. That's a problem I kind of have with Pequod's. I like Pequod's pizza, but what it is
bread.
It's a lot of bread. And it's good bread, but it's not what I'm looking for with pizza. I like the crust to just kind of be a crust that's there to deliver the good parts of the food into my mouth.
Okay, so here's the reason why I like Giordano's. Is it just kind of tastes a little more cheesier.
It is. This is a stuffed pizza. That's why it's
okay,
so cheesy.
so why is it a stuffed pizza and not like a whatever Lou Malnati's?
Deep dish pizza?
Yeah.
Well, they're both 2 different kinds of Chicago-style pizza, stuffed and deep dish.
Oh, okay.
But the way a deep dish pizza is, it's a pizza but thicker, basically.
Okay.
A big pie where you put the toppings in the pie. Stuffed pizza is a big pie, but it's also got an upper crust, like a top layer of crust. You can kind of see it here if you pick it up.
No, that's all cheese, isn't it?
No, this is crust, yo.
Where?
This is dough, dog.
Is that dough?
Yeah.
Oh.
So you form what is basically a calzone. Then on top of the calzone, you put more pizza toppings. So it's almost like, not 2 pizzas, but like a pizza and a half. Based on an Italian recipe that is called, let me make sure I'm getting it right. Probably going to butcher this pronunciation. I don't speak Italian.
That's
but
okay.
my guess is it's pronounced scarcietta.
Can I see?
Yeah, sure.
Scacchietta. I cannot read that.
Sorry, I have
But you were
bad
making me
handwriting.
feel so good about my own handwriting. It's probably the same. Like, it's probably similar.
The weird thing is, I do calligraphy, and when I actually do calligraphy, it looks beautiful.
I'm
but
sure
my
it does.
note-taking is just all scratch.
Man, my handwriting might be better than yours.
Oh, no, your handwriting is undoubtedly better than mine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You're making me feel so good. Let me try Siri.
Okay.
Siri? How do you say...
I'm listening.
How do you say scacchietta?
Here's what I found on the web for how do you say sketchy around.
I'm sorry, Siri, what did you think it was? Sketchy ara.
Ara. not
Sketchy ara.
Scacchietta. Hey Siri, can you get me the Italian Siri?
Okay, here's what I found.
Oh. Can I speak Italian to you?
Okay, sure. I'm listening.
Che cosa, mamma? Scacchietta. Oh, man.
I'm sorry.
Come si dice scarcietta?
Alright, give up. I give up on Siri.
That's all right.
I'll check in. I'll check in with my Italian relatives.
All right.
But that's all I can say is che cosa mamma.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That is what deep dish stuffed style pizza is based on.
Yeah.
Is scarcietta, which is an Easter pie from Italy. It's usually made with eggs and no tomato because tomatoes are American, so pretty much all traditional Italian food doesn't actually have tomato unless it was invented after trade started with America.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
I should have known that.
You know, that
I
boggles
feel-
my mind
Yeah.
every single time I think about it.
You know, that kind of makes me... That kind of changes some of my feelings. So, one of my cousins used to only have pasta with, like, cheese and butter.
Yeah.
And, like, that was about it for her. She did not like having sauces on it. And I always thought, oh, that's the non-Italian one. Which is very mean, because they're all equally Italian, except for my uncle, who is extremely Midwestern. But... now that I'm thinking about it, maybe it makes sense. Maybe she's really more Italian because she does not like this kind of sauce. I don't know. They used to do this kind of pink sauce with their pasta. And so...
Oh, do you know what the pink sauce is?
No.
Oh.
I'll find out what it is.
Huh.
Yeah. Well, then I guess Lou Malnati's doesn't win my favor, but it does win the challenge of actually being a deep dish pizza. It doesn't put toppings on top. It puts them in between, right? Like they mix it. I'm going to have to eat another Lou Malnati's to look at it.
They're both Chicago-style pizzas. They're both native to this city, and they both are an integral part of its history and its culture.
Yeah.
So I think maybe if one technically fits deep dish, that doesn't mean that the other is
Yeah.
any less Chicago.
Yeah. Well, then Pequod's should be its own kind of thing, because it's basically bread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Pequod's is technically deep dish.
Damn it, Pequod. If only you delivered.
Yeah, we were thinking about doing Pequods. I think you wanted to do Pequods.
Yeah.
Because we normally go there when I come here.
Do you have more notes?
I have a butt ton of notes.
Okay, I'm sorry.
We haven't
Go
scratched
through
the
it.
surface of these
Go
notes.
through your notes. I'm listening. Do you want the microphone to be a little closer to you?
I'll do it Ken Burns style. It's impossible to tell the story.
That's not coming up at all in the audio. So
Oh.
You have very nice, like, resonant voice. So sing out, Louise.
It is impossible to tell the story of Chicago-style pizza without talking about four very specific people. They are Ike Sewell, Rick Ricardo, Rudy Malnati, and Alice May Redmond. We don't really know when deep dish pizza was invented or who invented it, but it seems like it's about sometime around World War II. Just because there's no documentation, because all of this is basically folklore. But one of the possible ways was at Pizzeria Uno by Ike Sewell and Rick Ricardo. Ike Sewell was a University of Texas football lineman, and afterward he ended up working with Fleischmann Distilling, you know, the guys who make the vodka. Actually then spent most of his life working with them. He retired from them in 1965. So over the course of his time making most of his money, I think from Fleischmann's probably, he created Pizzeria Uno with Rick Ricardo, who was a restaurateur. They thought about making a Mexican restaurant, but Rick Ricardo had never eaten Mexican. And once Rick Ricardo actually ate Mexican food, he went, oh, no, I don't like this. We're making pizza. But no one knows if that story is true. They ended up settling in on doing pizza, because that was a thing that Rick was really good at doing.
Yeah.
Or at least understood, because he owned an Italian restaurant. He owned Ricardo's, which is not Riccardo Trattoria, which is still open. He had Ricardo's Pizzeria, which closed in 1995, but had a really long run.
What does trattoria mean?
I have no idea.
Because I feel like I've seen that around various places. Trattoria.
Let's see. Tavern.
Tavern.
Yeah.
That makes sense, because I thought, oh, maybe I've been to this place, but I have not been to this place.
Probably been to some place that was labeled Trattoria if it's an Italian bar.
Yeah.
It makes sense. So they pretty much both were like, hey, let's make pizza. And Ike Sewell decided he wanted to push for something that was a little bit more so than Neapolitan, and they came up with deep dish. This story is 100% hogwash, and there's no way that this has really happened.
Wait.
This was their company lore, is that these two dudes just wanted to make pizza and said, hey, let's make a more exciting pizza, and invented deep dish pizza. Neither one of them had any cooking experience. One of them worked on the corporate side at a distillery, and one of them was a restaurateur who, as far as I could tell, didn't really have any cooking experience.
Huh.
But they claim to have invented it. And Pizzeria Uno seems to also agree that they invented it and pushes that narrative.
Oh, okay.
It is significantly more likely that Rudy Malnati and or Alice May Redmond actually invented it, because they were both cooks at Pizzeria Uno
Oh, okay.
at the time when it opened.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah.
So now, like...
So they lay claim to it too, and they went off and did their own restaurants later. Rudy Malnati ended up co-managing Pizzeria Uno with his son,
Yeah.
Lou, and then Lou and his wife Jean ended up making Lou Malnati's.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Or do you don't think it's just that the two people who founded or pre-founded Lou Malnati's actually just improved upon a crappier version of deep dish pizza, and they decided to go make their own place because they improved upon it in a different way?
I mean, they probably had their very specific ideas on how it should be done.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, didn't like working at somebody else's company when they knew they could do their own version better.
Yeah.
But regardless, I feel very bad giving credit for the invention of this pizza to Ike Sewell and or Rick Ricardo.
Yeah.
Both of them sound like two guys who took credit for something this other guy and this woman did.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, from my own personal biased judgment,
Yeah.
I'm going to personally give credit to Rudy Malnati and Alice May Redmond.
Well, yeah, it makes no sense that neither of them being cooks would have really been inventors of it.
Yeah.
It feels like they probably were owners or managers or something.
I think they oversaw the restaurant while it was invented.
Yeah.
You want to know the story of Giordano's?
Yes, I do.
Giordano's was founded in 1974. Keep that year in mind, 1974. It's going to come back later.
Okay.
Yeah. It was founded in 1974 by brothers Efren and Joseph Boglio. They were born and raised in Italy, in a small town outside Turin. I believe it was called Torino. And they moved to Argentina for a while, and then moved up here to Chicago. While they were in Chicago, they started working at a pizzeria. I could not, for the life of me, find out what pizzeria they worked at. If anyone knows and can tell me what pizzeria Efren and Joseph Boglio worked at, please let me know, but I couldn't find it. It would be awesome and poetic if they started working at Pizzeria Uno or Lou Malnati's or someplace like that, but I don't know. When they were there, they didn't really like the pizza that much, so they ended up saying, well, can't we do our own? And so they created Giordano's, which was their mother's maiden name, as far as I can tell, because they just call her Mama Giordano in the...
Aww.
Yeah, in the story on their website, they refer to her as Mama Giordano.
Yeah.
And Giordano isn't a first name, so as best I can tell, it must have been her maiden name.
Yeah.
They created Giordano's using her recipe that they then changed a little bit to appeal to the masses, I believe.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
You heard of Nancy's Pizza?
No.
Well, here's the origin story for Nancy's Pizza, which opened in the year 1974. Nancy and Rocco Palese were Italian immigrants who started making a thin crust pizza at their place, and then eventually decided, hey, what if we make a more pizza-like version of scarchetta? And they sold that, and they claim to have invented stuffed pizza. So no one knows if stuffed pizza originated at Giordano's or Nancy's, because they both opened the same year, and they both have basically the same origin story.
Huh. And Rocco's from Giordano's, or he's from Nancy's? Or is he...
He's from Nancy's. Rocco's from Nancy's.
Oh, okay.
Both Rocco and Nancy Palese, as well as Efren and Joseph Boglio, have created two different restaurants, both of which opened in 1974, and both of which claimed to have invented stuffed pizza by changing their mother's recipe a little bit.
Huh.
The thing is, they might actually both be right.
Yeah.
Because it's not inconceivable to me that four different people, two different groups of two, would both say, like, hey, my mom had a good recipe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and also, just in general with the world, synchronicity happens a lot at the same time. When was the first time you had deep dish pizza?
The first time I had deep dish pizza was when I was in 8th grade. and I came to Chicago because our school had a field trip to Chicago, basically. Every year, the 8th graders would go to Chicago, and they do various Chicago-specific activities, like go to the Field Museum and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I could not go because they took motor coaches there. And literally, I think like 2 or 3 months before was when my brother died on a motor coach because there were no seatbelts. And we were in the middle of this big legislative push to try and get seatbelts on motor coaches. So I couldn't be on one because my parents can't allow me to be on a motor coach that doesn't have seatbelts, not in that climate. And so my dad drove me to Chicago so I could still be at the field trip.
That's really sweet.
Yeah, isn't it nice?
Yeah.
And while we were there, that also meant I was separated from the rest of the kids from a lot of the trip. I went to do the things, you know, like when they go to Navy Pier, I went to Navy Pier. When they went to the Field Museum, I went to the Field Museum, and I did it all with them.
Yeah.
But if they went to eat somewhere, I didn't have to eat at that same place. I'm not married to their schedule. I'm with my dad. So my dad and I splintered off one day, and we ended up having a deep dish pizza because I was like, oh man, I'm in Chicago. I'm not going to say no to this. I believe it was at Pizza Uno's. I ended up having it, yeah.
Well, do you know in 8th grade where they took the other 8th graders?
Oh God, I don't remember. I don't know, maybe like bubblegum shrimp or something.
That's where we went in New York when I did a trip.
Yeah.
They took us to bubblegum shrimp.
Wait, they took you to New York?
Yeah.
They took us to Chicago and you to New York?
I don't know if one was better than the other.
Oh, no, not that one's better than the other. Yeah. I personally really like being in Chicago.
Yeah.
But it's just, like, one's farther than the other and I believe more expensive.
Yes.
So it's like,
Yeah. Well, I think it's partially, like, we were going on a choir trip. So it's a little bit more like, you're going to go see 2 Broadway shows and go to the Met.
Yeah.
And we did not end up having pizza in New York. We went to Planet Hollywood and Bubba Gum Shrimp. And then we went to Sylvia's Kitchen in Harlem, which I thought was the best place that we went to.
I've never been there.
We should go.
Yeah.
we should go.
We should go to New York. Let's go back to last time, first time. When was the first time you had deep dish pizza or Chicago-style pizza of any variety?
I don't remember if I ever had it anywhere else. I might have had it before. Actually, I might have had it when my family did a trip to Chicago. Not for my 12th birthday, but it was around my 12th birthday because my birthday is the day after Christmas. We came to Chicago to go to the American Girl store, and I think we probably had deep dish pizza one time, but I don't remember it. I probably mostly remember it when I was at Grace's house the first night that I came to Chicago.
Yeah. When
I moved here. For 1 week, I was staying with 2 different people while I stayed with Grace and then I stayed with Caitlin. So I stayed with Grace, and the first night that I was there, her dad ordered a pizza, and I think it was Pequod's. I'm pretty certain we had deep dish and thin, but I can't remember. So that might have been it. But I think also just having it with my dad.
Yeah.
Probably was the first time. Or I had it at work. This was when I was just temping at the job that I currently have.
Yeah.
And it was like several months before they actually hired me. I think they had a pizza day, and I think I was there for that pizza day. And then the last time I had pizza is right fucking now.
Do you remember the last time before now?
My friend Cecilia came to visit, and I took her to Giordano's.
Oh, cool.
But also, I think we had it for like a snow day at work.
When was that?
That was either the beginning of December or it was the week after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And
there was a particularly cold day. And so on that day, we do a thing called cold day pizza.
Was there actually snow?
Yeah, there was snow.
Damn.
And it was like cold outside and...
I forgot what snow was like.
It was windy. Oh, well, good for you. It was actually windy, and so to let people know that they didn't have to go all the way outside to go get food and everything.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. The weird thing about deep dish pizza is that I just feel a lot of guilt with it.
Really?
Yeah.
What about it?
Because it's deep. Because it's such a commitment.
Yeah.
Like a slice is a commitment. You usually don't need more than 1 slice.
Yeah.
Or 2 slices.
That's what I like about it. It's a lot all at once. So you know right off the bat you're eating a lot of food, so you've already pre-portioned it.
Yeah.
You have like 1 slice and you're like, good. I'm done now.
But it doesn't really keep well in the refrigerator, in my opinion.
Not as well as
thin.
There's like thinner crust pizza. That does keep a lot better.
And it's just, maybe it's associated with work, and like I'm usually ordering a lot of pizza, and we've had times where we've had quite a bit of pizza left over, so I just kind of feel sick seeing how much pizza is left over.
Yeah.
And this last time, I felt better. I didn't have as much pizza. I had one we order deep dish, and we also order, we order thin. And I don't know. I think it's just this whole idea of mentally I have to make sure I don't eat too much beforehand because it's such a commitment. And it's like usually it's one of those things where you go out with people to go eat deep dish pizza. So everything else that you've eaten in the day really counts, because it means like if you haven't saved your calories for later, or you haven't saved like your fullness for later, I don't know, I just end up sometimes feeling gross afterwards because it's just such a huge commitment. It's supposed to be a celebratory thing. Like when people have a pizza party, you don't want to be the person not eating pizza with everyone else.
I guess that's true. But there's something I like about deep dish pizza is that it is an event.
Yeah.
It's a whole deal. Like 2 slices of deep dish pizza, that's your day. Mm-hmm. Like that's your fucking day. And I like that about it. I like food that's its own event. Mm-hmm. It comes out and says, hey, you're going to be eating me today and nothing else.
Interestingly, there are Giordano's outside of Chicago.
Yes, actually, there are quite a few, because Giordano's was purchased by John Apostolou in 1988, and he began a huge expansion that ended up opening a bunch of new locations, like over 100, in not only the U.S., but like all over the world, in the Middle East, in Europe. But the problem is he had these huge ambitions, and they all fell flat. Like, he ended up getting this huge expansion, but most of them couldn't open or didn't last very long.
Yeah.
So a lot of the ones that he had for, like, outside of the Chicago area, he's got some in Florida. They've got
this one in Columbus.
This one in Columbus?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I think I've seen
Easton.
that. Yeah, Easton. But by and large, they didn't really work out. So they've got these little spots of Giordano's all over the country.
Yeah.
Maybe the world. I don't know if any of the ones in Europe or the Middle East worked out.
Okay.
But at least in the country, there's little spots because he wanted it to be this huge chain.
Yeah.
And he tried to do too much too fast.
Yeah. He might even, like, it might be one of those restaurants that's like a high-end chain that you only ever see in, like, cities or certain areas. So, for instance, at Easton Mall, there's also an American Girl store there.
Yeah.
And so I'm, like, just wondering, okay, well, maybe that's, like, a city thing.
You can only have Giordano's with an American Girl store.
Probably.
You can go to that little area where you can eat with them.
No.
Can't you eat with them?
Yeah, you get to eat with them. Yeah, it's really fun. The food's not amazing.
Well, it's because it's not pizza. They should just serve Giordano's.
Wait, okay, so you said because there's a layer of dough on top, that makes it stuffed. So here's my question. When they make the pizza, do they inject the ingredients and the dough's like in between it, or do they put the dough on top? Because if they put the dough on top, I don't think it's a stuffed pizza. I think it's just a pizza that has a layer of dough that they have laid on top.
Wait,
of the pizza.
Are you saying that it's only a stuffed pizza if they bake a full pie that's empty and take, like, I don't know, like a meat infuser or something, a big syringe, suck up a bunch of pizza, and just squeeze it into the pie?
Okay. Now my question is, what do you imagine in that syringe that you say you were syringing up pizza? Because I was just thinking, like, cheese and toppings.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like,
okay.
You think there's just a big vat of, like, cheese and tomato, and you take a giant syringe?
Well, there's no tomato on the inside. So, yeah, cheese and toppings.
Okay.
Either syringed in, or it's like, it has to be made around it. Like, as you're making the dough, I feel like it has to wrap around it somehow. I feel like if you're putting a layer of dough on top of it, it's still a deep dish pizza.
Because
it's not stuffed. Because I think stuffed needs to refer to either the crust or something else. I feel like a thin layer of dough does not a stuffed pizza make.
Because you're saying that the act of stuffing means there's already a fairly completed thing, and you have to, like, fill it?
Yeah.
Okay, I can see where you're coming from.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, that's not how they make it. They make it like you'd make a pie. You make the bottom crust, you fill it, you make the top crust.
Okay, well then we should call it a pie, which it's already called.
Yeah.
So you can't differentiate it.
You're a little behind on that one.
Okay, but on the receipt, it did not say stuffed.
What did it say on the receipt?
Well, okay, on my email receipt it didn't say it, but let's look at the real receipt. It says stuff. Let's look at this. Let's look at this menu for a second and see what it says on here.
Okay.
But here, I'll give you the receipt. Here's your receipt. Both.
Coming at me with the receipts.
Yeah. Are you reading it out loud?
Web order.
Good for you.
Time due. 2:10 p.m. For Emma Scarepa. Medium stuffed, make your own. Cut whole. S, which I assume means sausage.
Yeah.
Sausage.
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 Okay. Why did you hand me this?
Because you were right, and I'm like agreeing that you're right.
Oh.
Except what's weird is on here it says create your own, and it says deep dish. It doesn't say stuffed.
Well, I think that the two are more or less used interchangeably.
Yeah.
It's not like you use a shallow dish to make stuffed pizza. It still takes a deep dish.
Yeah. So I would say it's a deep dish with a layer of dough on top. And thus the word stuffed. Maybe it's not, maybe it needs to be its own thing, but it's still a deep dish pizza. I like what they do with sausages in pizza now, like that. I even like when they do like mini sausage or something, like little sausage balls.
Oh, interesting.
And they put that in pizza.
I have different opinions on that, because one of the reasons I like Lou Malnati's is
Yeah.
because they use a full sausage patty.
Oh.
The entire bottom layer of Lou Malnati's pizza is one giant sausage.
Is it cut sideways or is it cut like...
It's cut sideways. It's like a full
I need
pizza's
to
worth
go...
of sausage. Yeah,
I'm
go
gonna
look
go
at
look. I'm gonna grab a slice and look at it and like dissect it.
As far as I can tell, that's Lou Malnati's specific, which is one of the reasons I like them so much.
That's why you can tell the difference.
Yeah, it's also why it was super easy to tell the difference.
Yeah.
It's the one with the giant sausage. Also, you can kind of tell the flavor.
Yeah.
And the bread's different. It's thinner at Lou Malnati's.
Yeah. It does have like a more tomatoey scent.
Mm-hmm.
That is really interesting. So like, wait, how did they make pizza in Italy though without tomatoes?
There is a history of like flatbreads and stuff that go back as far as ancient Rome.
Okay.
I don't totally know the history of pizza. All of my research today was very Chicago specific.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be a little off on some of this. But my understanding is that a lot of pre-tomato pizza was like flatbread with olive oil and toppings.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, the oil on the bread. That feels like more of an Italian thing where you dip the bread in the oil.
Yeah.
Or at least a European thing.
Well, I think you drizzle it on.
Really?
I think.
Oh, okay. I actually had other feelings about pizza, specifically deep dish
Yeah.
pizza. I guess one of the things that's hard to swallow about deep dish pizza is that it is such a Chicago thing, and I'm not fully sold on it as like a comfort food or as a, yeah, I'm so glad I'm in Chicago, I'm so glad I'm eating deep dish pizza, that's what I wanted, and
Yeah.
I'm not sold on that, and it's kind of a little bit of a metaphor of I don't know if I'm fully sold on Chicago
Ooh.
as a city.
I mean, I'm not totally sold on In-N-Out Burger, but I love Los Angeles.
Yeah, but is In-N-Out Burger specifically a Los Angeles thing?
No, it's very specific to California, but not Los Angeles.
Yeah, and that's how I feel, is that I don't, like, so many people come here and people say stuff usually on social media and whatnot, like, I love my city, and I live in the greatest city, and we're so lucky to live here, and I think they're right in a way, but I always feel weird in claiming something as my own, particularly Chicago, even though that's where I spend the majority of my time right now,
Yeah.
is in this city. I don't go outside the city. I don't travel outside the city. So it's not necessarily a home.
Do you not feel comfortable claiming this as home? Is that what you're saying?
I think so.
Yeah.
But I also don't know if I feel comfortable claiming home as home. Because I'll go home, or I'll go back to Medina, Ohio, and things will have changed, and also it's just like I get bored pretty quickly.
Is it like that episode of How I Met Your Mother, where they say, like, you're not a real New Yorker until you've seen Woody Allen, or you're not a real New Yorker until you've killed a cockroach in a restaurant with bare hands, or whatever?
Yeah.
Is it like that, but for Chicago? Like, you just feel like you haven't
I don't know.
Chicagoaned?
I don't know. That's interesting. I'm trying to remember that episode. What ends up being like... What's like the theme of that episode at the end?
I don't totally remember. I know they're all rushing to see Maury Povich at a restaurant, I think.
Oh, okay.
And they end up... They like start the episode off by saying you're not a real New Yorker until you've done XYZ, and then over the course of the episode, running to go see Maury Povich at a restaurant, they do all the things.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's about... I think it's about Robin understanding that even though she's from Canada, she is a New Yorker even though she wasn't born there.
Yeah. I think that maybe is how it feels.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just this pressure to like something right away when I'm not sure.
Well, I feel like you can still be a valued member of Chicago and a valued member of society and the community here without liking every aspect of what it has to offer.
Yeah. I guess I want to feel like I have a place here or like I'd be missed. And that's not going to happen in a city. I think I need to remember that.
That's sort of an unforgiving thing about cities in general.
Yeah.
No matter what, you're always going to be very small.
Yeah.
But that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being a small part of something.
Yeah.
What matters is that you're a big part of your own life.
Yeah, I know. And I think that's why I need to like give up on trying to force myself to like pizza. Deep dish pizza. No, I like pizza. But I think one of the things is I really do miss Donato's, and it's one of those things that I can link Donato's back to Newark, Ohio.
Is Donato's Ohio specific? Because I know there was the one in Newark that we used to go to.
There are like... There's a lot in Ohio. There is some nearby. My friend Caitlin, she's in Maryland.
Yeah.
She and her husband really missed Donato's, so they once drove like an hour just to go get Donato's, or like 2 hours to just go have Donato's pizza. Yeah. And so I think it's mostly Ohio, but I think there are a few places close by in like New York, in Kentucky, kind of that area.
That have Donato's? Yeah. I think it's absolutely beautiful when people will drive like an hour or two just to go to a place that reminds them. Yeah. Like, I went to Ellen and Kenny, two burpees, back from Denison, who got married. And when they got married, at their wedding, they had wits. But they got married in St. Louis. Wow. Ellen had her younger brother drive from Granville, Ohio to St. Louis with a bunch of like dry ice containers and stuff full of wits so they could have it. Wow. That's what I love about this podcast is about how important food just kind of is and how it has those memories attached to it, to the point where you have your brother drive multiple hours out of the way just to get some really good custard. Well, our friend Nick, whose name I'm not going to say because I don't want to have to beep it out later, but our friend Nick, who's from Skokie and who was a freshman our senior year, he had a pizza flown in, I think. A deep dish pizza flown in, or his parents sent a deep dish to him. Damn. Yeah. So that's commitment. Yeah. Yeah. For what? They just felt like I think he was homesick. So, which is that's kind of sweet. That is absolutely adorable. Yeah, I almost kind of wish he was here now. Yeah. So, where is he? Is he in Ohio right now? Or is he in Skokie? No, because he graduated, so he's in Skokie now. Oh. Or not Skokie. I'm sorry, he's in Wilmette. He might not even be in Wilmette. I can't remember what suburb he's from. I'm sorry, Nick. But here's the thing about Donato's Pizza also is when I was living in Newark, I lived in Newark near Granville because I was staying there for about 3 months while I was working on a show and working. And I would sometimes get sad and lonely, and I would just have this desire to clean. And so I would like at least 2 different times I opened the windows, and this was like January, February, but I would open the windows, turn on the office, and order a Donato's pizza. Yeah. And ordered it online because that was like I enjoyed ordering it online. Yeah. And had it delivered, and it was just a medium thin pepperoni pizza, and it was just happiness to me. Maybe it was just comfort. I think it was comfort to me. And the cats would be around, and they'd be like, what are you doing? You gonna feed me some pizza? That is nice because you also mentioned earlier that one of the things you weren't sold on about deep dish pizza is that you didn't think of it as good comfort food. Yeah. And I think I'd agree. I don't think it is good comfort food. No. I love it, but as an entree. Yeah. Like it's an event. Yes. It is the meal, it is not something I would have to binge eat because I'm not in a good mood.
Yeah, because it's not bingeable.
Yeah.
It's not, you can't eat it fast.
Mm-hmm.
Which I will say, that's the good thing about it, is that it forces you to eat slow. So
and that's one of the things I love about it.
Yeah.
Is I don't like eating things fast, and I feel horrible about myself
when
I eat things really fast.
Yeah.
And when I eat a lot of when I eat a lot of shitty comfort food, I feel like garbage.
Yeah.
When I eat a small amount of like event food, I'm like, good.
Yeah.
Jacob, you got your life together.
You ate 2 slices of deep dish pizza.
And then you stopped.
But here's the thing, especially like pizza, even when I realized, hey, I should not have eaten that whole pizza, I don't regret it later.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm like, I knew I was sad and I knew that eating this was going to make me feel better. It's like, especially if it's in like one sitting.
Mm-hmm.
If it's like throughout the course of a day, then I feel like crappy. But anyway.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
Well, okay, maybe it's not good. I don't actually...
Well, I don't know. You made a decision and then you stuck by it.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite way. I make the decision and then I regret it later. I think your option is healthier.
Yeah, but like because it's like what's awful is that I don't do that well with frozen pizzas. Mm-hmm. Like when I usually get frozen pizzas with the intention of, I'm not going to eat this whole pizza. And then I usually eat a good portion of it.
Oh, yeah.
So that lately I realized is not something I want to do. So I have to avoid that because it just doesn't... I know I'm going to eat the whole thing.
Yeah. Impulse eating in general is what makes me feel bad.
Yeah.
Anytime I eat out of impulse. That's why I have to schedule freaking everything in my life or else I feel bad.
What would you deep dish stuff?
Let me just quick go through my notes here.
Okay.
All right. Last minute fun facts I didn't throw out earlier. Lou Malnati's puts their pizza in reverse order. A lot of deep dish style pizza does this. Lou Malnati's being my personal favorite, but they do it so that it is toppings, or so that it is it mozzarella first? Yes, it's mozzarella first, then it's the sausage and the toppings, then on top of that it's the tomato sauce, and then on top of that it's chunky tomatoes.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
God, that pizza's so good. Lou Malnati's, call me up. I will advertise for you. Ike Sewell's wife, Florence, was one of the reasons he came to Chicago in the first place because she had high society connections over here.
Ooh.
I could find almost nothing about her. She seems to have just kind of come and gone.
Maybe she's still alive.
She's not. She died in the year 2000.
Oh.
I know that because it didn't list her birth and death day on the Wikipedia page, and I had to do extra research, and I would like to edit the Wikipedia page to properly reflect the research I found. So if anybody wants to know what being Jacob is like, it involves editing other people's Wikipedia pages.
Yeah, but it's like important people, like people who might not have gotten recognition. So
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
No, thank you. And she deserves a little bit of recognition for being like a part of history in this way.
Yeah.
Pizzerina Uno's was originally just called The Pizzeria until they opened Pizzeria Due. And then they were like, oh, well, Pizzeria Due, Pizzerina Uno.
Okay, well, do you have any idea why there's two? Because Pizzeria Uno and Pizzeria Due are very close to each other in, like, location.
As far as I can understand, they're the same company. Maybe they're not anymore.
I don't. That's weird.
Yeah.
They're in the same, like, neighborhood. Like, they're literally less than a 5-minute walk between each other. They're like a 2-minute walk between each other.
Mr. Krabs, why did you open a second Krusty Krab right next door to the first Krusty Krab? I like money.
I guess that makes sense. They have one area where you can sit outside and another area where you can also sit outside. I was going to come up with an idea.
Ike Sewell, when he was a lineman for the University of Texas football team, he was among the first team to actually wear burnt orange with the Longhorns.
But he did not actually... Or you think he might not have invented deep dish pizza?
I don't think he invented deep dish pizza. I think he took credit for the work that Rudy Malnati and Alice May Redmond did.
Okay.
Ooh, I can't believe I didn't touch on this.
Yeah.
Rudy Malnati, his son Lou is from his first marriage.
Yeah.
From another later marriage, he had Rudy Malnati Jr. Rudy Malnati Jr. has opened up Paisanos, which is another pizza company that does deep dish. I have never eaten there, but I kind of wanted to because I want to taste if there's like spite between Lou Malnati's and Paisanos.
Yeah.
I got kind of excited when I saw that. I was like, I want to taste the drama.
Yeah.
But it says right on the website for Paisanos, like this is like homepage. You don't have to go digging for the story or anything. The very opening page, Rudy Malnati starts off with, "My father, Rudy Malnati Sr., opened his first restaurant, Pizzeria Uno, in 1943." Which is not even totally accurate because he didn't really open it. He was the head cook there.
Oh.
It's kind of misleading to say he opened it.
Yeah.
But yeah, of course, Paisanos and Lou Malnati's claim that Rudy Malnati invented it. Pizzeria Uno's claims that Ike Sewell and Rick Ricardo invented it.
Yeah.
And as far as I can tell, nobody is standing up for Alice May Redmond, and that's unfair.
Aw.
I don't know if she has any restaurants in her name. She should. She certainly deserves recognition.
Yeah.
She worked there the same time Rudy Malnati did. I'm sure she was just as integral.
Yeah.
So we did a little more research, and I'm coming back to this. Alice May Redmond really got the shaft, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like she originally made the pizza. Like, she physically made the pizza and really put in all the work.
Yeah, it sounds like she did all of the grunt work. Because she was the head cook.
They were even saying Lou
Uno's.
Malnati, like Lou Malnati's dad. Who's Lou?
Rudy Malnati.
Rudy Malnati was a manager.
Yeah.
So...
It sounds like he probably had some culinary experience, which puts him, in my book, at least a little bit ahead of Ike Sewell and Rick Ricardo.
Yeah.
But it sounds like at the end of the day, the person who actually put the pizza together was Alice May Redmond. And she gets almost no credit for it.
Yeah.
She ended up getting poached by Sam Levine and Fred Bartoli, who founded Gino's East.
Yeah.
And they were able to get her because they promised her that, like, she could work there and, like, her family could work there and she'd have a steady job.
Yeah. It's kind of crappy.
It's
almost like her name should be... It should not be deep dish pizza. It should be...
It should be Alice May Redmond pizza.
Or something like that.
God, somebody make a movie about her.
Yeah.
That's all my fun facts.
Okay, now I have a question about Rudy Malnati being named Rudy Malnati Jr., even though he's not the first son.
That is weird, isn't it?
I feel bad. I feel kind of like maybe that's not even an issue. Maybe it's a non-issue in the family, but...
Like, you feel bad that...
that Lou Malnati is not Rudy Malnati. I mean, like, I'm just curious as to how that happened, because I would think, like, it didn't sound like they were estranged or anything, especially if you have the last name, so wouldn't you be... It just seems weird to me that Lou Malnati was not originally named Rudy Malnati Jr.
I don't know, actually. I honestly don't know why he decided to name a son Rudy after he already had a son.
You know what this has me thinking?
Yeah?
There are two bad movies that are romantic comedies that are supposed to be like Romeo and Juliet, but it's competing pizza parlors. And one was released on ABC Family a number of years ago.
How have I never heard of either one of them? This sounds so right up my alley.
Yes, and then there's another one that, like, Emma Roberts is going to be in. It's going to come out. And one's called Pizza My Heart.
Okay, that's amazing.
And then I don't know what the other one is called. But they're very similar because it's both about competing pizzas and they're supposed to be about Romeo and Juliet parodies.
Yeah.
I feel like this would be a lot more interesting because it's not a parody or a following of Romeo and Juliet, but rather it's about, you know, a woman who is not really recognized in history but probably had a big effect on this pizza being made.
Yeah.
And then also these competing pizza places in Chicago developing this and two sons who are possibly estranged from each other who are supposed to be brothers or half-brothers.
Yeah, they're half-brothers.
Yeah.
And Lou Malnati died in 1978 of cancer. So, Emma.
Yeah.
If you could stuff a pizza with anything, what would you stuff it with?
That's what we're doing. Ooh, I really want to try sauerkraut pizza.
Oh, especially just sauerkraut, or would you throw in some bratwurst in there?
I think I would do sauerkraut. I don't want to try the bratwurst.
Really?
I think sauerkraut and maybe some of that, what's that meat that people have around St. Patrick's Day? that's on Reuben's.
Corned beef?
Corned beef.
Yeah, that's a good use for sauerkraut, too. Corned beef and sauerkraut go together.
Corned beef and sauerkraut, a deep dish stuff.
So you're making a Reuben calzone?
Probably.
I mean, I guess that is essentially what this question is. What kind of calzone would you have?
No, it's not a calzone. Oh, now I'm seeing it. Now I'm seeing it. You know how I was up in arms about the fact that it can't be a stuffed pizza? Is because a stuffed pizza is really a calzone.
Yeah, I guess it is. Because that you've kind of already made a thing.
Yeah, but calzone already has a name. So, stuffed
Well,
pizza.
the good news is, though, a calzone is the basis for a stuffed pizza. So they're already sort of related anyway.
But it's just like, because it's a thicker layer, it's just like, they wrapped the dough.
Interestingly, in the more authentic, more traditional version of scarcietta, the crust on the bottom and the crust on the top should be the same thickness. So it is less of a pie.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a calzone.
It is more of a calzone, yeah.
Well, congratulations, deep dish pizza. You're a calzone.
If they're a stuffed version.
What would you stuff or deep dish?
I say make like a stuffed version that's full of like hamburger toppings, so you're eating like a hamburger calzone.
So like cheese.
Yeah, like cheese and burger. Maybe throw some lettuce and tomato in there.
Oh, okay, but you wouldn't put any like...
No, but I would keep the tomato sauce.
Ooh.
Make like a pizza burger.
Oh. Yeah. Would you add bacon?
Nah, it's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all it. I wish we could end with a song or something.
I would like to end by showing you a panel of Unbeatable Squirrel Girl.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Unbeatable Squirrel Girl?
Well, I'm familiar with Squirrel Girl because I got my niece a Squirrel Girl comic book, and you said you love Squirrel Girl.
I love her, and I love the most recent run from Ryan North and Erica Henderson. It is fantastic. And I haven't read it in a while because I haven't read any comics in a long time because it's so expensive.
Yeah. But
I found this panel from an issue being thrown around online. Mm-hmm. This is Mjolnir, who is a cat named after Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
Eating some pizza, which is a reference to another comic. On the pizza box on the inside, it says, "Thank you for purchasing Jean-Pierre's Pizza." And then in much smaller text it reads, "Yes, even people without Italian names can still make amazing pizza. Mamma mia! Examine your problematic assumptions while enjoying our delicious slices."
Yeah.
What do you want to do next month?
I actually, oh man, I had an idea while we were talking and now I've forgotten. It was going to be something like, or there was something that like was new that I wanted to talk about. I wanted to talk about something also healthy.
An actual healthy food.
Like Brussels sprouts or something.
Alright, well then, here's what I'll say.
Yeah.
Whatever we're going to do in February, it'll be healthy.
Aw, thank you.
You're welcome.
Alright. Good night and good luck.
Thanks, Edward R. Murrow.
Oh, I missed that. Wait, it's still recording. Oh, good, because I didn't press the stop. Now I'm pressing the stop.